The Wise Old Man and the Wedding Invitation. In the heart of Africa, nestled among rolling hills and bathed in perpetual sunshine, lay the village of Lumena. Lumena was renowned for its wealth, with grand houses lining the streets and vibrant gardens blooming with life. The people of Lumena were prosperous, adorned in rich fabrics and glittering jewels. Yet, amidst this opulence lived one man who stood out, not for his riches, but for his wisdom, an old man named Jobari. Jobari lived in a modest hut on the outskirts of the village, surrounded by nature's beauty. He had no wealth to boast of, only a simple life and a heart full of stories and wisdom. Despite his poverty, Jobari was the most respected person in Lumena. Villagers, both young and old, came to him for advice. His words were like precious gems, guiding them through life's myriad challenges. Every evening, children would gather around Jobari, eager to hear his tales. His stories were filled with lessons about kindness, courage, and the true meaning of wealth. His eyes, though aged, sparkled with life as he spoke, and the children listened with rapt attention, their minds absorbing every word. One day, Jobari received an unexpected invitation. A wealthy merchant, known throughout the village for his grandiose lifestyle, was hosting a wedding for his daughter. The invitation was intricately designed, with gold leaf and elegant script, a symbol of the luxury that awaited the guests. Jobari was touched and surprised. He had given the merchant advice many times, and this invitation was a mark of gratitude. The day of the wedding arrived, and the village was a flurry of activity. The grand hall where the ceremony was to be held was decorated with dazzling lights and beautiful flowers. The villagers donned their finest clothes, their excitement palpable as they gathered for the celebration. Jobari, in his usual worn but clean robe, walked to the wedding hall, his heart light with anticipation. As he approached the entrance, he showed his invitation to the two imposing guards at the door. The guards, dressed in impeccable uniforms, glanced at Jobari and his simple attire with disdain. "Where do you think you're going, old man?" one of them sneered. "I am here for the wedding," Jobari replied, holding up his invitation with a smile. The guards laughed derisively. "Dressed like that? This is a wedding for the elite. You must be mistaken." Jobari's heart sank. "But I have an invitation," he protested. "It doesn't matter. You need to be properly dressed to enter," the other guard said, dismissing him with a wave. Feeling humiliated and saddened, Jobari turned away and walked back to his humble home. He sat quietly for a moment, reflecting on the guard's words. Determined to attend the wedding, he searched through his belongings and found a beautiful white robe, a gift from a grateful villager. He donned the robe and made his way back to the grand hall. This time, the guards nodded approvingly and allowed him inside. The wedding hall was a sight to behold. Crystal chandeliers hung from the ceiling, and tables were laden with exquisite dishes and fine wines. Music filled the air, and guests danced and laughed, their opulent attire shimmering under the lights. Jobari moved through the crowd, his presence barely noticed among the glittering guests. He found a seat and quietly began to eat. But to everyone's astonishment, he started to spill food and drink on his pristine white robe. Juice stained the fabric, and crumbs clung to the once immaculate cloth. The guests watched in shock and confusion. Murmurs of disapproval rippled through the hall. Finally, the merchant, noticing the commotion, approached Jobari. "Why are you doing this?" he asked, bewildered. "You are ruining your beautiful robe." Jobari looked up, his eyes calm and wise. "This robe is what gained me entry to your wedding, not my invitation. It seems that it was the robe that was invited, not me. I am simply making sure it enjoys the celebration." A hush fell over the hall as Jobari's words sank in. The guests realized the profound truth behind his actions. The merchant, deeply moved and ashamed, embraced Jobari. "Please forgive us," he said. We were blinded by material wealth and forgot the true value of a person's heart and soul. The mood in the hall shifted. The villagers, once proud of their external riches, began to see the importance of inner wealth. They listened to Jabari's stories and wisdom, now with a deeper understanding and respect. From that day on, Lumina changed. The people learned to value each other not for their possessions but for their character and kindness. Jabari continued to share his wisdom, and his modest heart became a beacon of true wealth, a wealth of spirit and humanity. And so, the wise old man taught the village of Lumina a lesson that echoed through generations, that the essence of a person is far more precious than any material adornment. If you like to hear more stories like this, make sure to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell.